Coming up on Mountain News this morning, before driving on the roads during the upcoming winter season, you need to make sure your car is prepared for what Mother Nature has to offer. And it's also important to pack the essentials in case you do get stranded out while on the road.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Alrighty, good morning to you. 6:31 on this Wednesday. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast this morning. In Brandon, much like you, but yesterday I thought today was Wednesday because I was telling Steve I needed Thursday off. I was joking. I needed Thursday off for something I needed to do, but really I don't need to do it. I just needed Thursday off. And he said, Dakota, today's not Wednesday. Because I said, well, prepare, I'm going to be off on Thursday. And he said, well, you know, whatever. I was like, okay. Yeah. So I thought yesterday was Wednesday.
So day confusion is basically what's
you know,
the game is this week.
I think it's a curse here. You thought it was, you know, you were taking us to Tuesday.
I was trying to take us back a day. You were trying to take us forward a day. So, you know, it just...
We do time change here.
It balances out.
Yeah.
It balances out. Now, we do time travel.
That's true.
That's
yes,
exactly
yes.
Right. So let's travel back in time right now to look at the last 6 hours on the satellite radar loop. And you'll see we had some showers overnight there for a little bit. They have moved out, replaced with a few sprinkles or some snowflakes this morning. Nothing major, nothing substantial there. But overall, it's been a fairly overcast and dreary morning. 34 in Williamsburg now. Williamsburg and Moorhead are new cold spots this morning. We have 35 in Jackson, Pikeville, and Clintwood. Scanning the map just to make sure there's nothing else. And now the new warm spot is 38 in Manchester, Middlesboro, and Ashland. So again, cooling down some out there this morning. Paducah and Carbondale out in western Kentucky and southern Illinois in the mid-30s this morning. Everybody else in the mid to upper 30s, some 40s. Nashville, Knoxville, and the Tri-Cities this morning. Even Charleston's below the 40-degree mark. Your breakfast forecast, we're going to see temperatures in the 30s for most of us. Remember, they could fall and stabilize all the way through mid-morning, so be ready for that. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Federal investigators are sharing early findings on a crash that happened in Harlan County. Well, the crash happened November 3rd near the Tucker Guthrie Memorial Airport. Well, the pilot of the plane, 55-year-old Dr. David Sanford, died in that crash. No one else was on board. NTSB reports the plane crashed during Dr. Sanford's third attempt to land on a runway. There was fog and the airport's lights were out of service. The NTSB says these findings are preliminary and is continuing its investigation. Well, 11 out of 18 students injured in Monday's school bus crash in Magoffin County have been released from the hospital. The remaining students and the bus driver are still being treated for their injuries. School leaders have not given details about the conditions of those still hospitalized. As Olivia Calfee reports, school officials say they are trying to support the students and families.
Magoffin County school employees say Monday was scary, a day filled with concern.
It was a solemn atmosphere. We had our students and our staff, they were worried about their classmates and they were worried about their students, and it was just sort of this overwhelming support that they had for their classmates, for their students, about their well-being and just wanting to know that they were okay.
Tuesday, the school announced that as of now, 11 of the 19 injured were treated and released from the hospital. Barry Adkins, the school system psychologist, says they have resources available for any student if they need emotional support.
The students who need more assistance in any way, if their parents want to talk, if they want to talk, whether at school or they want to have you know, just some kind of communication, we're there. I mean, that's what we're going to do, and we'll do that going forward.
Adkins says outside counseling agencies are also available if additional help is needed. Both Adkins and Bailey say Tuesday was hopeful, thanks to the support the system has received from many surrounding areas. Wearing maroon for Magoffin County.
Just getting on social media this morning, and there were posts on my timeline that schools that I have never heard of. I don't know where they are, don't know if they're in the state of Kentucky or if they're somewhere else in the nation, but just group shots of kids who are wearing maroon, just that people are thinking about our kids and thinking about our community the way we think about them. So we're thankful for their support.
In Magoffin County, Olivia Calfee, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, yesterday, people in Magoffin County and other school districts were marooned to support Magoffin County schools. A Floyd County deputy injured during the Allen shooting on June 30th underwent surgery to amputate a leg on Monday. Floyd County Sheriff's Deputy Darren Lawson's fiance shared this photo of him post-surgery on social media, saying, quote, "This decision wasn't made lightly, and ultimately, this is where we are," end quote. She says Lawson will have to undergo an additional hospital stay, rehab, and physical therapy, but he will begin working with a prosthetic team soon. Lawson was one of several officers injured during the shooting. Captain Ralph Frazier, Deputy William Petrie, Officer Jacob Chaffins, and K-9 Officer Drago were killed during that ambush. Monday night, deputies from the Floyd County Sheriff's Department, along with the Kentucky State Police, found a large amount of drugs at a home near Betsy Lane Elementary School. Inside the home, police found roughly 435 grams of crystal meth, along with heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and prescription pills. Deputies arrested 38-year-old Casey Collins of Betsy Lane during the bust. He is charged with 4 counts of illegally trafficking, including trafficking within 1,000 feet of a school, rather. 3 others were also arrested on outstanding warrants at the same home. A traffic stop turned into a high-speed chase in Leslie County. Leslie County Sheriff's Deputy Shane Wilson tried to stop 52-year-old Jesse Hoskins after spotting his motorcycle, which reportedly did not have registration plates. Deputies said Hoskins took off. The chase ended near Lower Bowens Creek Road when he lost control and crashed the motorcycle. Hoskins is facing several charges, including fleeing or evading police, resisting arrest, and no registration plates. With colder weather here, not only do we need to take our physical health into consideration, but our mental health as well. Our Alyssa Williams talked with healthcare and mental health professionals on the signs of seasonal depression and how we combat it.
As the days grow colder, the risk of seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression increases for many Americans.
Seasonal depression does happen to an extent to a majority of people, and it doesn't have to be clinically significant in all cases, and oftentimes it's not. But we do have some mood changes related to the season changing, the light and dark cycle.
Behavioral health specialist Dr. Jonathan Martin says seasonal depression symptoms can look a lot like those of regular depression.
But those things can be increased appetite, reduced appetite, sleeping too much, sleeping too little, low mood, low motivation, low energy.
But Dr. Martin says there are ways to combat seasonal depression.
The biggest thing I think is self-care. So stick to your routine, and that'll make you feel productive and make you feel like you've done something, give you a sense of normalcy in your life. Exercising, eating the right foods, getting out and enjoying the weather when it is nice enough to get some sunshine, because that's a big thing that we're lacking.
Scott Lockard with the Kentucky River District Health Department says elevating your space can also elevate your mood.
Lighten up your environment. It may involve painting the walls in your house or doing something, creating an environment that you feel happier in.
Equipping everyone with the skills they need to lighten up their life as the days get dark. Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, both medical professionals say if your seasonal depression gets worse and begins impacting your daily life, or if you begin having thoughts of self-harm, you should seek professional help. We'll have more tips and resources on WYMT.com. Well, much like it is important to take care of your mental health during the winter months, it's also important for you to make sure you take care of your physical health if you are out on the road this winter. We could see more ice and snow on the roads in the months ahead. If you have to drive in wintry weather, experts recommend making sure your lights are on if you are in a low visibility area, and drive slowly and carefully. Leave additional space between you and the car in front of you, and check your car to make sure it is winterized.
Make sure that you do have adequate tire tread before you head out. That's something that we talk about quite a bit, but especially going into the winter season, because you really need to make sure that those tires grip the roadway.
Experts say you should also check your brakes, windshield wipers, and have an emergency kit. And it's also important to be prepared ahead of time in case you do get stranded on the road because of severe conditions this winter. When you're going out, it's important to pack things in the event of being stuck or stranded. It's always a good idea to have things such as a heavy coat, gloves, boots, and a hat so you can stay warm. It's also critical to keep your cell phone charged.
Bring along your cell phone, and that you have your charger with you so that you can call for assistance.
You should also check the parts of your car such as brakes and windshield wipers and have an emergency kit to prevent any possible issues.
6:41 here on this Wednesday morning. Some cold temperatures out there. They continue to get a little bit cooler, but Moorhead has bounced back a little bit. They were at 34 a little earlier, back to 36. Williamsburg still is at 34 this morning. So again, temperatures continue to drop, and they'll likely do that through about mid-morning. So be aware of that. Your out-the-door forecast, I do think it's going to stay mainly overcast today. A few flurries are possible, especially this morning when the temperatures are a bit colder. 38, I think, is about the best we do today, but if, again, the sun comes out for any amount of time, you could get closer to 40 or into the low 40s. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. 6:41, when we come back here on Mountain News this morning, the teenager responsible for a deadly school shooting in Michigan could face the maximum sentence allowed in the state. We'll have more on that when we come back.